Guys, at this point I was here to aim the down of this top and also to iron it out, but it's already beautiful. The result came out very beautiful. So if you are coming across me for the first time, do well to subscribe to this channel, turn on your notification bell so that you'll be the first to notify each time I upload a new video. And if you are my returning subscriber, thank you very much for always checking on me. In today's video, we're going to learn how to make this top from start to finish. If this sounds like something you're interested to learn, keep on watching. By the way, my name is Grace. Alright guys, so without wasting time, let's jump into the tutorial, okay? So I start by folding my material into two. I fold my material into two since I will be cutting my back piece first, and I take note of the part that stretches to be the circumference of my measurement, while the part that has no stretch on it will be the length of my measurement. After that, I'm marking the length of my top. Normally the length of this top I'm getting is 20 inch. This 20 inch I'm marking include the sewing allowance. So at the end of the day, I'll end up having the top to be 18 inch or 18.5. All right. After that, uh, I'm marking my chest line, which is 8 inch. My bust point. There's no need to use bust at this point, but I will still mark it. My bust point to be 10 inch. My waist to be 16 inch. So the remaining one will be the length of the top. So I'm simply using my tape as a ruler to connect these points together. Next, I'm dividing my shoulder measurement into two. Normally it's supposed to be 7.5, so I'll be adding half inch for stitching allowance. So I mark it at 8 inch. I repeat that same mark at the chest line and I connect it on a straight line. So at this point, I'm trying to check the style. I'm marking the width of my neckline. I make use of 4 inch. I later reduce it to 3.5. And for the depth of my back neck, the width of my back neck, I reduce it to 3.5. For the depth of my back neck, I mark 2 inch. Armhole side, I'm sloping my shoulder by 1 inch. I'll connect it back to the neckline. From that line, you can go as well and mark the midpoint of it and connect it. At the chest line, I'm dividing my bust circumference into 4. I'm marking my bust, quarter of my bust circumference plus 1 inch for stitching allowance. At the waistline, I'm going to leave the waist because this top is not a kind of shape, or it does not, it's going to be free on me. So at the aim of it, I'm marking my hip circumference. I'm marking quarter of my hip circumference plus 1 inch for stitching allowance. Sorry guys, I didn't notice that my camera did not capture the marking at the down. I could have adjusted for you to see. After that, I'm adding half inch for stitching allowance at the shoulder line. Then I'm cutting it out. So after cutting the back piece, we are going to use the back piece as a pattern to get our front piece. Our back piece is cut on folds, as you can see, while the front piece is will be cut into two. Yeah, so this is my center back and this is my center front. From there, I'm coming down a bit. I'm marking from the measurement of the back neckline, the depth of my back neckline. I come down with extra 1.5 inch. This is how low I want the front neckline to be, so I will be connecting it to the width of the neckline. I raise it up like this and connect it this way. It's very simple. Okay, next I'm going to be cutting everything out. But before I do that, at the center of my front, remember the center of the back is facing the center of the front now. So at the center of my front, I'm marking 2.5 inch. That is the space for the button. Okay, and I connect it and I will be cutting it out. Please take note of the way I'm cutting this out so that you get it correctly. So when that is done, we are going to cut the facing. This is actually the back facing. I've already done so many of these same tutorial on my channel, and I make sure that the folded edge align with the folded edge of this tiny piece below. I'm tracing out the neckline and also the shoulder line. After that, I raise it up and mark 4 inch all around, and I will connect it and cut it out. At this point, I'm reducing the space for my buttonhole. I'm reducing space for my button allowance. Remember, we added 2.5, so I later reduced it by 1 inch. So we are now working with 1.5. Reason is because I've changed the method, that's the way I intend to stitch it down. So this is the facing I'm cutting out now. Pay attention to the way I'm cutting out the front facing because it's quite different from the way I cut the back facing. From the facing, I'm tracing out from the hem of the top down to the shoulder line. After that, I'm marking 3.5 inch all around and I connect it this way. Again, pay attention to the way I'm cutting my front facing. Doing so will allow your top to come out very neat. I'm actually cutting one by one because I'm trying to manage the leftover material that I have. So after that, I'm going to place it on another piece, right side facing each other, and cut it and cut another one which will be for the other side. Please ensure that you place it right side facing each other, even though you end up cutting only one side. Okay, So I'm trying to check the area that is the front and the area that is the back. This my material look, the front and the back look the same. So I'm trying to take note. I also check the area that stretches the most, because I want the area that stretches the most to be the length. Sorry, I want the area that stretches the most to be the circumference of this measurement, while the part that has no stretch on it will be the length of it, after which I'm cutting exactly what I have. So now we are done with the back and the front facing. Okay, the next thing I will be cutting out is the sleeve. Yes, the next thing I will be cutting out is the sleeve. For the length of my sleeve, I want it to be 9 inch. Okay, on the length of, so I will be adding 2 inch extra for the sewing allowance. You know, at the top of this sleeve, I will be joining it to my top by half an inch, and I fold it down by 1.5 inch. Okay, on the starting line, I'm coming down by 4 inch. So at this 4 inch point, I'm inputting half of my shoulder measurement or my armhole measurement, which is 7.5. I add 1 inch plus 1 inch for stitching allowance, and I curve it. I give it a slanted edge like this. So at my elbow measurement, I add half of my elbow measurement, which is 6 inch, plus 1 inch for stitching allowance, which I connect it, and I will be cutting it out. You can see the way I'm cutting out my sleeve. I fold in the hem of it because I need the hem of it to have this sharp pencil look on it, so that it will help me when I'm folding it. Okay, as you can see, I'm cutting all this my piece one by one because I'm actually trying to manage my material. So I'm going to do that off camera. Moving on to the front piece, I'm placing my facing, right side facing my right side of my facing the right side of my top. That is how I'm going to stitch it down. And for the sleeve, I'm going to fold it this way and aim it down. You might decide to aim it, but in my case, I didn't aim it. I iron it out with aiming gum and tack it. You are going to see that in a minute. This is my back piece already torn. I've torn the neck of my back piece. I flip it to the right side and top stitch and iron it down flat. These are my front piece. So I've already torn one side, flip it to the right side and top stitch down to the hem of the top. Okay, and this is how it looks like. Please ensure that you notch it before you top stitch. Notch your neckline, the curvy area, so that it will relax flat. That is exactly what I did. Have you seen how I've notched it? So I'm going to take it and stitch it this way and flip it and top stitch. So I said, let me illustrate. Okay, that is how I'm going to stitch it down. For the sleeve, I've already go ahead and iron with the help of the hemming gum. I've ironed it flat and also tack it. I've also torn my shoulder measurement, so I'm going to show you how to do that on the other side. Okay, so this is me placing my front piece on top of my back piece, and I used the facing to cover up. I use my front facing to cover up my back. In this way, The two facing are touching each other or are together, while the two shoulder line for the top are also touching each other. So you are going to take it to your machine and stitch it this way. After that, you have something neat, something clean like this. So in stitching down the sleeve is two ways. You can attach your sleeve in two ways. Okay, maybe putting it this way and stitching it down, or you attach it the same way I will be attaching mine. I want to, because I will be adjusting my armhole, so I'm going to leave that sleeve for now. From the shoulder or the joining allowance there, I'm coming down by 7 inch. Okay, I want at this center front we added 1.5 inch for the our button. Yes, we added 1.5 inch for the button. So I've already used half inch to turn my facing or the neckline. So we are now left with 1 inch. I'm now marking out that 1 inch out because I want it to overlap each other by 1 inch. So from that 1 inch, I'm marking, first of all, I mark 2.5, but I later reduce it to 2 inch. I reduce it to 2 inch. Okay, I'm also doing the same thing here. I'm marking 1 inch that will serve as overlap. From that 1 inch mark, I'm going to mark 2 inch. Okay, I'm going to mark 2 inch. I'm going to mark 2 inch. That 2 inch is where the design that we have at this top that we start from, and I come down by 7 inch. That is where it's going to start as well. Okay, like I said, guys, before I mark 2.5, later I reduce it to 2 inch. These are the tiny piece I will be using to create my design. So the length of this tiny piece is 3.5, while the width is 5 inch. Okay, so at this 5 inch mark, I'm folding it into two. I get the midpoint, which is 2.5. So at the side, I go down by 1.1 inch. Yes, or 1.02 inch. Like, go down by 1.2, and I'm going to stitch it this way. I connect it to the tips of, or that notch area. I connect it to that notch area, and I'm going to stitch it first before I trim it out. Guys, so after stitching, I'm actually trimming it out. After trimming out, I will flip it to the right side and top stitch. At this point, you can choose to iron it first before you top stitch, but I go ahead and top stitch it. Top stitching it this way, you are going to be very careful of it so that it will come out very neat. So I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side. So I've done top stitching. This is the time it come out very beautiful already. So I'm going to place it on that 7 inch that I came down with, and from the 2 inch sides, from starting from that 2 inch point that I marked, I'm going to pin it down so that it will be easier for me to stitch it down on top of my machine. Okay, so this is me pinning out the work so that when I get to the machine, I stitch it down. After that, you can decide to stitch and top stitch on it, which was exactly what I did. So top stitching on it help it to remain flat. While top stitching, guys, you would like to use the shortest part of your stitches so that it will not be too obvious. Don't use the longest part of your stitch to do this. Try to make the short, the way we always stitch down as shades. So after that, I'm overlapping each other by 1 inch. I'm also marking space for my button. The space for my button is 2.5 inch away from each other. So this is the way I'm going to be placing my button, and I will take it and stitch it down with the help of my thread and needle. It's only this face one at the upper that I will not, it's only this face one that I will not stitch it down. If you don't understand what I mean, just wait. In a minute you get to understand what I mean. I have to stitch it down this way because I don't want it to be open as shades. Okay, I want it to be like top but in a shades manner. Okay, so after stitching it down, guys, you can see what I have to leave that side, this one button open, because I will be grating my buttonhole in that space, yeah, so that I will be able to wear this top. Okay, so after that, I'm flipping it right side facing and shape out my top by 1 inch that I added. Okay, now this is beautiful already. I'm going to trim out, I'm going to check if my armhole is accurate. If not, I'm adjusting it now. I'm also going to check. I like doing this when I'm making a dress. I have to check if my armhole is accurate, because I don't want a situation that after stitching it down I loosen it up again. No. So I'm marking half of my armhole measurement, which is 7.5. So I'm marking my 7.5 now, and I curve it this way and I'm cutting it out. After that, I will still trim out my front armhole. Just the front armhole this time around, I'm trimming it out. Trim it out with 0.5 inch. I did that to the sleeve, but I lost the click. I did not show you how to do that on the sleeve. On the sleeve, after cutting it, let me just explain. After cutting your sleeve, you open it up and place it right side facing each other and trim just one side. Make sure that it's right side facing each other. You trim just one side. If you are trimming it that way, you end up doing it to both sides. But without placing it right side facing, you end up trimming just the two sleeve. You just did it to one side. So after shaping my sleeve like this, you end up seeing that the part that I will be attaching to the front lower than that of the back, or is deeper than that of the back. So this is the way I'm going to be attaching it. I match the side seam, and from the side seam I'm pinning it all around. And if you haven't watched the skate part of this video, I mean the face part of this video, do watch it out. It is the skate part of it. This top, I will be rocking it with the skate. So try and watch the skate part of this video and make one for yourself. So if you shape it with your exact measurement, you are going to have the exact measurement, nothing more and nothing less. Okay, so I will take it to my machine and stitch it all around. I will also repeat the same process. Like I said earlier, I already illustrate how to do this. You can loosen up that seam allowance at the side. Then you notch the center of your sleeve and match it with the joining allowance at the shoulder. You stitch down like this and close the side. You flip it to the wrong side and close the sides, starting from the sleeve to the top. That is another way of attaching the sleeve. But I will be using that face. I will be using this method, the one I pinned down. That is the method I'm going to use to attach my sleeve. After that, I will hem the down of this top and iron it out. Thank you so much for watching to the very end, and do not fail to like this video. If this video has any value, like it and subscribe to my channel. Do not fail, don't leave without liking this video. Please like this video so that more people can get to see it. And see you all in my next video. Bye. I love you. Mwah.